Welcome to the Breakdown to Breakthrough podcast. My name is Lisa A. Romano. I am a life coach, best-selling author, YouTube vlogger, meditation teacher, and expert in the field of codependency and narcissistic abuse. I am a believer in the power of an organized mind. My aim is to help people learn what it means to live above the veil of consciousness rather than living a reactive life. May your heart feel blessed, your mind feel expanded, and your spirit find hope as you spend time with me here at the Breakdown to Breakthrough podcast. So today we're going to be talking about why it's important to be cognizant of why we digest certain information, why we learn certain things, and why we focus on what we focus on. It is a talk that I think is very valuable at this point in time, one that needs to be clarified so that each of us can move forward with more intention and more clarity regarding our purpose in life, understanding that at our core, what we think about and what we focus on creates reality. That's a really hard concept for a lot of people, especially people who are in pain. What I hope you hear is that if we can become super clear about why we digest certain information, and we can attune our focus toward a specific goal, and we are more aware of why we do what we do, then we can help avoid a lot of the suffering that we are experiencing day to day. For example, when I was married the first time to my first husband, I thought that I was a conscious human being. I wasn't. When you are living below the veil of consciousness, you don't know it. You are at a level 1 state of consciousness. You are in a maze. You are in a paradigm. You have no idea that generational trauma, generational karma has created this paradigm or this maze, and that you are reenacting this paradigm, that you have been downloaded to think certain things as a child. You don't know that as a child you were in a theta hypnotic brainwave state. You don't know that your subconscious mind, through repetition and observation and consistency, you listened to your mother day in and day out. You observed your father day in and day out. You observed family dynamics. You marinated in the family dynamics. You have no idea that during this process that your neurological system is being wired to mirror these outer experiences. You have no idea that the mind is more subconscious than conscious. You have no idea that the thoughts that you think today, the 60 to 70,000 thoughts that you think today, are recycled thoughts. They aren't new thoughts. If you're not thinking new thoughts, then you're not conscious. So here we are digesting in a digital world information from creators, innumerable creators, putting information out there on the internet. Everything is more opinion than anything. And whether we realize it or not, we could be finding ourselves, aligning ourselves with a particular thought process or group of people who think a certain way that is more detrimental to our spiritual, personal, mental, and emotional growth than we realize. And the reason I feel it's important for me as a creator to come out and speak about this is because I, as a content creator who speaks about family trauma, who speaks about codependency, who speaks about living below the veil, acquiescing, subjugating women and men who live in the shadow of their partners, who don't live out their dreams because they're afraid of what their partners think or what their partners are going to say. I speak about narcissism. I teach about narcissists. I think it's vitally important that someone like myself come out and say what I'm saying so that as we move forward, especially if you follow my work, it needs to be understood. I share what I share, not to polarize people, not to say that the community that I serve is better than another group of people, that because you follow this work and because you are awakening from family trauma, or because you are exiting a narcissistic relationship, or because you are recognizing that you were programmed to seek approval, that you have been living in survival mode because of family trauma, because you were abandoned by a narcissistic mother, because you were shoved away, because you were pushed away, because your family was laced with addiction, because you told the truth and no one wanted to hear you, because you felt invalidated for your entire life. I'm here to tell you once and for all, and to make it perfectly clear, that the healing information that I put out as a creator is not designed to polarize anyone. It is not designed to say because you are codependent, you're better than that person, or because you are moving away from a family trauma situation, that you are better than your sister who is still part of that system, that subconscious system. It is not to say because you were in a toxic relationship and you are now exiting that toxic relationship, you are greater than the person that you have decided to leave. The information that I wish to put out is information that I hope inspires people to understand that we all drink the Kool-Aid, that we all come here and are born into a subconscious system. We are all subject to our parents' rules, our parents' mindsets, our parents' vibrations. And depending on what type of system we have been born into, very much dictates who we attract in the future. My content, it is my hope, inspires people to recognize the power within themselves to awaken and to say, now I understand that I was living a reactive life, that I was living a subconscious life, that my choices were subconscious. My very inner narrative was a mirror to my faulty subconscious programming. The words that came out of my mouth were the result of subconscious programming. The way that I behaved in the 3D world was subconscious. I never thought about the way that I was thinking. I never questioned where my beliefs came from. I never understood why I sought approval. I never understood or even thought about my perfectionism. I never thought about why I never put myself out there. I never questioned why I became a nurse, why I am such a rule follower, why I resent people who have fun. I just resent people who have fun. I never questioned why it is that I acquiesce, why it is I don't confront my husband when I say I'd like to try this vacation and he says, no, I don't want to travel, and why I shut myself down and say, oh, well, I guess we're never traveling. Why have I never questioned what I want? Why have I never questioned what I needed? Why do I just sit back quietly as a passenger in the life of other people? Why do I scroll through social media? Why do I waste my time? Why do I fade into an oblivion of Netflix series? Why do I just acquiesce to what my narcissistic friends think about me? Why am I so unhappy? Why do I just accept my unhappiness? Why do I keep attracting narcissistic relationships? Why? We're not taught to question why. We all, regardless of who we are or where we land on the narcissistic or codependent spectrum, we are all subconscious creatures until we awaken. The reason I share information about narcissists is because research generally proves that narcissists don't awaken. So that means those of us who are in narcissistic relationships, if we don't awaken, if we don't acknowledge those in our life who refuse to awaken, who remain in a subconscious slumber, if we don't identify these people in our lives, and we think that we can change them, we die a spiritual death in level 1 consciousness, in the paradigms of the past, and we never escape. We don't educate ourselves about narcissists or narcissism for this right to be self-righteous, for the right to condemn someone. That is not the right intention. The journey that we're all on is one of expansion. Expansion requires growth. It requires pruning off of the dead. It requires moving forward. But this process is one of acceptance and surrender. It is not easy to extract yourself from a dead relationship, from a dead partner, from a spiritually dead partner. I've done it. It was painful. It was excruciating. I felt guilty for moving forward. I could see the future, and it terrified me. If I did not leave this relationship, I would die in his slumber. It still pains me that this person is most likely asleep in slumber, unaware that he can awaken or that awakening is possible, and that living a life that is one of thriving versus surviving, needing to dominate, needing to make people afraid, needing to make people feel ashamed or guilty, needing to live in relationship bondage. It aches me to know that people believe that people out there believe that the only way to be in a relationship is to bond people or put people in bondage. So many of my clients are those who are living with people who terrorize them emotionally, who gaslight them, who project what they cannot accept about themselves onto my clients. My clients are people who have been taught to be kind to people, to see the best in people, to think that if they say what they need to say 1,000 times, then that person who is asleep, who is in the slumber, who is caught in the matrix, who is at level 1 consciousness, a victim of their own programming, a victim of the past, someone who is tortured and unable to escape the shame and the trauma of the past, who live a false mask, who live in an illusion in their mind, who see other people as objects, as extensions of themselves, who are not alive, not spiritually. My clients are people who need to awaken and who ache to awaken to the truth, but that truth is terrifying. It's a virtual reality game. And there you are in this 3D reality, stuck in this relationship, becoming aware that you are in a video game, that the person that you're living with created the game. They are the programmer. And now you are a character in their video game. And how dare you decide that you want out? How dare you decide that you no longer want to be a part of a narcissist's video game? My clients are courageous people who say, Lisa, I'm awakening. I see it. I understand it. I want to leave this level 1 consciousness. I recognize my codependency. I was living below the veil of consciousness. It was my pattern. It was my programming. I was a hand in a glove for this relationship. But I need tools. I need wisdom. I need knowledge. I need peace. I need clarity. I need autonomy. I need a roadmap. I need a path forward. These are people who understand that the aim is not to live self-righteously. Somehow we have to surrender to what is so that we can move beyond what was. This takes tremendous courage. And our goal, as we learn about narcissism, is to understand that regardless of what has been, the path home will always be love. It will always be surrender. It will always be letting go. It will always be truth, acknowledging the truth. But we acknowledge the truth not to persecute. We acknowledge the truth with grace. We look forward to leaving what has been in the past. Like a lobster shedding its old shell that no longer fits. We are vulnerable in the process without our shell. We don't fight when we release our shell. We're healing without the shell. And as we embark on the journey forward, we release resistance. We don't fight narcissists. We don't stand in condemnation, or at least we should try not to. Although many of us will get stuck there for a while, this conversation is about a new goal. If you are there stuck in condemnation, if you are there stuck in anger and resentment, you are exactly where you need to be. But I wish to tell you, it is not the goal to get stuck there. The goal is to move beyond. You are a creative human being, and you have the right to experience the good in life. To achieve the good in life, however, dear one, you must create different vibrational frequencies within you. The frequencies of resentment may keep you feeling safe, but they will also keep you stuck. There are higher vibrational frequencies, and you are entitled to them. You have a right to achieve them. You have a right to experience love, surrender, acceptance, grace, peace, clarity, ownership, and self-confidence over your life. As you move beyond what has been, as you stand exactly where you are, you look to the left, that's the past. You bring your hands together and you say namaste. That is what has been. You and whoever has been a part of your life, whoever these people, including your family, spouses, friends, siblings, whoever these people have been that have been a part of your past, that have brought you suffering. This is your moment where you say, Namaste, you are a part of my past, and I choose to release the energies that you have brought into my life right here and right now. You close your eyes in stillness. You decide to let go. You turn to the right, bringing new energies forward. You refuse to take old energies into your new reality. And it is my promise to you that if you learn about narcissism, if you learn about family trauma, if you learn that your mother was a narcissist and that was why you developed codependency, the fear of setting boundaries, the need to stand behind people, the need to be agreeable, if you learn that this is why it's been difficult for you to identify your feelings and to make decisions, this is why you're afraid to set boundaries, afraid to tell the world who you are. As you move forward on a new path, understanding why you are the way you are, why you have been the way you have been, but you do it with the intention of love and personal expansion, there is no stopping you. This is the path to empowerment. Knowledge that causes you to remain stuck and polarizes you rather than catapults you to a place of grace, understanding, and non-resistance is information that you need to question. It is my hope that those of you who have followed me for many, many years, decades, it is my hope that what you hear this content creator saying is that the answer is not to polarize. The answer is to unify. The answer is to extrapolate yourself from systems, from ideas, from relationships, and from mindsets that cause you to feel polarized, and rather look for information, content creators, healers, therapists, and those who consider themselves worthy of offering information to help others expand. Look for information that allows you and wisdom that teaches you and urges you to move forward with grace and with respect for a system and a process that some people are still a part of and don't know that they're a part of. Understand that if you are no longer a part of a dysfunctional matrix, if you have ascended level 2 consciousness where you understand the pattern, you can see the hologram of your family. You can see the hologram and the nature of the narcissistic codependent relationship. And you have ascended to level 3, where you are working on breaking the patterns responsible for keeping you stuck in level 1 consciousness. And you are moving toward a level 4 consciousness, where you will find serendipity, where you will find synchronicity. This is the level where you have grace and understanding and love for everything and everyone, despite the past. And I certainly hope, as someone who has put out so much information over the past few decades regarding narcissism and codependency, family trauma, abandonment trauma, for adult children of alcoholics and adults born to narcissistic family members, it is my hope that that is the message that you receive. That you understand, I don't put information out there to cause us to feel polarized, to cause society, one side of society, to feel better than another side of society. To the contrary, it is my hope that you hear me saying the goal is to accept and to acknowledge what you cannot change, and to decide to live above the veil of consciousness with grace in your heart, only focused on your expansion, focused on your light, and focused on how your growth can help serve humanity. Because when you are operating as your best self, you cannot help but serve humanity just by existing. Namaste, everybody. Until next time. Bye for now. If you're ready to break through the past and begin the inner transformation journey that will lead to inner confidence, spiritual growth, relationship contentment, and financial abundance, the 12-week Breakthrough Coaching Program is for you. It is the inner transformational blueprint you need to live a successful life. Visit www.lisaaromano.com to learn more.